Go
So
now.
hello, today me and Nguyen gonna present to you guys a magazine designed by us about a Russian writer Dostoyevsky, and we'll talk about his life and works. So first here, as you can see on your screen, is the cover of our magazine. So on the cover we have right have it there on the cover is the topic of our magazine and also some information about Dostoevsky, is his birth and his death day and his hometown in Moscow, Russia, and some his very well-known genre is the novel and short story. His literary movement. So he's leaning toward realism. It means he reflects how Russian be like at the time. And here I listed two of his very well-known literary work is The Crime and Punishment and The Brothers of Karamazov. And here's his picture in his grave in Moscow, Russia. Next page. So here next is the inner pages is the main information about Dostoevsky. So here are some facts about him. So first, he wrote to pay off his gambling debts. So he can write a novel within just 26 days, and he published his first novel at the age of 25, which is seems very young at a young age. So his parents greatly fostered his love of literature, and Tsar Alexander II asked him to teach his sons. And next is the influences on his writing. So just as Dostoevsky stood on the shoulders of the giants whose work he read as a child, he would eventually turn himself into the giants, and he would go on to inspire and support myriad other literary luminaries. And Franz Kafka also called him a blood relative, and Dostoevsky's influences on his works were very clear. So his masters of prose like Ernest Hemingway and James Joyce hold him up as one of their great idols. Yes, and next is the obstacles he had to face in his life. So, unlike many other Russian writers, Dostoevsky was not born into the landed gentry. So, often stressed the difference between his own background, that difference on his work. So, first, Dostoevsky was always in need of money, and he had to hurry his works into publication so that he can sell them and to earn money. And second, Dostoevsky often noted that he explored the lives of accidental families and of the insulted and humiliated. And next is some important information about Dostoevsky. So he's a Russian novelist and short story writer who psychological and penetration into the darkest recesses of the human heart, together with in his unsurpassed moment of illumination, had an immense influence on the 20th century fiction. And next, he was usually regarded as one of the finest novelists who ever lived. So, literary modernism and existentialism and various schools of psychology, theology, and literary criticism have been profoundly shaped by his idea, and his work are often called prophetic because he so accurately predicted how Russia's revolutionaries would behave if they came into power. And in his time, he was also renowned for his activity as a journalist. So next is the present of Nguyen.
Okay, so next let's look at Dostoevsky
art gallery, his work of art. I choose our group choose for most popular work, his work, for us to recognize. We have the Cool Fort here, the North from the Underground. This piece was from when he get to after his imprisonment when he was in the prison. Crime and Punishment, the upcoming novel we're gonna learn about, and the brother of Karamazov. This novel helped him to be recognized as one of the most finest Russian novelists and still recognized since today. So let's look at the awards that uh, Dostoyevsky has been rewarded. Award for the National Book Critics Circle, and award for the biography of 1984 Los Angeles Times, and the Russell Lovell Prizes, and the second Christian Ross, Ross Award. Our group have choose our favorite quote from the Crime and Punishment, which is the upcoming novel we're gonna learn about. The quote says that pain and suffering are always inevitable for a large intelligence and deep heart. The really great man must, I think, have great sadness on earth. This quote was quoted from Crime and Punishment. And to make the magazine more realism, our group had made a real sample of the magazine. So here is the preview of all the pages. Our group have we make it have